Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about Uranus transit the 6th house in a natal chart. Now, on average, Uranus will traverse a house for approximately 7 years. However, if your house size is a little bit larger than average, then Uranus will be in there for a little bit of a longer duration. If your house size is a little bit smaller than average, then Uranus will be in there for a little bit of a shorter period. Well, anyway, people, first thing I look at with this transit, well, you may experience some upheavals connected in your work life. You might have a lot of vacillation and change with this. You might work at a job for a little bit and then get tired of it and might become maybe monotonous, or there's something that just maybe even boring about it and you go look for another one. It could be times when you just spontaneously just leave one job and go to the next. Your work life could be somewhat sporadic, to say the least, during this period, sporadic and erratic. And it could be also a time, well, given that Uranus is also governs, rules electricity, that in some cases you might experience more than your fair share of electrical shortages at your work environment, and even maybe some problems just with electronic things and computer items such as computers and maybe other electronic computer-like devices, or electronic devices, I should say. So anyway, another thing too is that when you have this transit, this could be a time where you might desire a little bit more freedom from your work environment, and it might be a time where you have a hard time adapting to perhaps a regular, consistent type of schedule. And this could be a time where the 6th house also governs our health. So it could be a time where you may get some kind of unusual illness, or it may just be that your health can be somewhat sporadic during this period. It might have some ups and downs. You might have some periods where it seems like everything's going fine, then all of a sudden, spontaneously out of the blue, you get sick, or you get some kind of illness. And really, what's interesting about this is that I have Uranus in the 6th house natally. I actually have it almost exactly conjunct my 6th house cusp. So, and what's interesting is that I have, as many of you may know, have heard me say this in other videos, that I have irrevocable nerve damage to my arms. And interestingly enough, Uranus rules electricity, and I've had times from overdoing it when lifting certain things. Things are too heavy, or really in a very repetitive manner, that I would get like some shock sensations in my arms. So really, I found that very interesting. And Uranus in the 6th could indicate unusual health situations. And when you have it in the transit, well, it's possibly may acquire something like this during that transit, perhaps an enigmatic health situation. Also, keep in mind the 6th house also rules our pets, and it could be a time where you might spontaneously adopt a pet just out of the blue, even if you're somebody that's never had pets originally. This could be a time when you first decide to get one, and it might come as a surprise to people. And it could also be that maybe you might be interested in getting an unusual pet, something that's not your general typical dog or cat or what have you. So anyway, also that having Uranus transiting the 6th, it could indicate that you might be interested in innovative forms of like fitness and getting yourself in shape, such as computerized weightlifting equipment. Now, this could also be when you have Uranus transiting your natal 6th house. Thing about this too is that keep in mind that the 6th house also is about our hygiene, and it could be that maybe you may become more interested in the new products that are associated with this, and things that are new, that are inventive, that are innovative. Things you might get tired of however, whatever you were using before as far as hygiene, and it might be something where you might find something new in connection with this. And the thing too is when you look at this transit, this could also be a time when you have Uranus transiting your natal 6th house that you may become interested in work in association with computers, some kind of electronic position. You could be interested in something like a computer repair person, or just doing something with computers in general, troubleshooting. It could be something where computers might become a little bit more part of your daily routine than usual. If you were somebody, say, that wasn't really much of a person that would be going online or be on the internet much, this could change during this time. Well, anyway, people, it's also important to look at the aspects, if any, that are made by this transit to your natal planets and points, as this could impact the transit. Let's say, for example, that transiting Uranus is making a sextile or trine to your natal sun. Well, given the fact that Uranus would be transiting the 6th, that this could indicate a time where you might become this might be auspicious for finding new ways, perhaps to increase your vitality, endurance, and energy. And being in the 6th house, it could be connected somehow with maybe new innovative fitness equipment, such as computerized fitness equipment. So anyway, another example, let's say that transiting Uranus is making a square in conjunct or opposition to your natal moon. Well, this could be a period perhaps where your emotions might be a little bit sporadic and erratic. And being in the Uranus and transiting the 6th house, this could be perhaps somewhat attributed to unanticipated changes, perhaps in health and your daily routine and your work life and environment. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for Uranus transiting the 6th house in a natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about Uranus transiting the 7th house in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.